we're going to do something a little bit different on this week's video. I'm going to treat this as a podcast in the apartment, which we are going to be leaving soon, by the way. But I've had a lot of people ask me about being a teacher in Dubai. Now, I'm not a teacher. I registered my business here, but a teacher did move with me. So I guess she is going to be the person to speak to and ask questions to. That's what we're going to do. But before we get started, if you are moving to Dubai, like I know many of you are, and you're looking to register a business like I did, then I cannot recommend enough the guys at GenZone, because ultimately they are the masters of helping people set up their businesses here in Dubai. They've helped over 600 companies and their feedback is absolutely stellar. And I say this all the time when speaking to them, but even one of my clients, Mel, who my partner has also met, who you'll be meeting in a minute, has used them and the feedback is phenomenal. I'll leave a link down to GenZone below. Anyway, hello.
Hi.
You nervous?
Yes.
All right, don't be nervous. You'll be right. You'll be talking to me. So you're a teacher, moved to Dubai. I have a series of questions that hopefully you can share your experience and your knowledge about, because there will be lots of people who are teachers who are going to be in your position looking to move here. So first and foremost, let's talk about the big move. What made you decide to move to Dubai to be a teacher of all places?
I think you know it already. We came to Dubai on our holidays 10 years ago, and I absolutely fell in love in with the place. And it's quite weird because I used to work on a cruise ship and traveled quite a lot, so I'm well traveled, but no place made the impact on me like Dubai did. I think the culture in itself is amazing, but also the stuff that it's got to offer. Obviously, the weather makes a whole difference. You don't have to plan your barbecue 3 months in advance because the UK weatherman tells you we're gonna have the hottest weekend in 3 months. Plan your barbecue. I think here is just a opportunities to just wake up in the morning. The sun is shining all year round, and you can just go pretty much everywhere. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a going to Hatta that we've done Hatta trip, whether it's going on a road trip. There's so many opportunities, and you never have to worry about the weather. And I think it's just probably lifestyle more than anything. And as you know, we're not party people. So I'm not talking about the nightlife. I'm just talking about the daily, day-to-day bits, going to the beach, being by the pool, spending time with friends, going to do some paddle, anything. There's plenty of things to do.
Yeah. What were your expectations before you arrived, and how did that compare to the reality? Because, like, the first day when you arrived, I know it's a bit of a shock walking into here, this apartment right here, and just that adjustment hitting you immediately.
Well, I secured my job in February, so the waiting time when we moved in August, like that was pretty exciting, and I wasn't thinking too much about it. I was really, really excited. Um, I knew it's going to be hard because I have few friends already that have been in Dubai and have been for a few years. I know the hours are long, but I think walking into the apartment, it just kind of hit me because the apartment was an empty shell, and we just moved from our house that we've been at for 10 years. It's a 3-floor, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and we came in here, and yes, the apartment is nice and we are very lucky. Like my school, I think in comparison to a few other schools, our apartment is really, really nice, but it was empty and it needed a personal touch. So we obviously left our half of our luggage at the airport. I think we were both excited and tired. So when you actually went to fetch the bags, I had a little cry because I was like, oh my God, it's just the reality hit me. And I don't know, I think it was just overwhelmed with the emotions, with everything. I probably was tired, jet lagged, nervous, excited. And I think just the apartment in itself, it wasn't ours. And I think, that just hit me, the reality. I was like, oh, have we made the right move?
Yeah. So moving on to your school, how did the school sell the opportunity to you when you had that interview? Because you had the interview in January, didn't you? How did they sell the opportunity of Dubai and that school specifically to you?
I think what I wanted to do, I didn't want to go to a big school to start with. Like, schools here are all through schools, and there is very few primary schools only. most of the schools are all through schools, which means you've got primary, secondary, and your college or sixth form. It's all in one. The schools are big, 3,000, 4,000 students. So I think my aim was not to go to a big school to start with, to start from something smaller. Personal choice. My principal at the interview, you drove me. I've seen the principal at the face-to-face interview in London, and he was just a really, really lovely man, very personable, very approachable. I don't know, I just had a nice feeling about the school. The school's got 1,300 students all through school. So, like I said, from foundation stage 1 all the way to year 13s. And I think it was that family feel that kind of convinced me to sign a contract with them. And I would say also the HR department. I couldn't fault the HR department. I've been in a similar situation with a different school a year before. I've got a job offer from another school, but the HR was really, really slow and dragging, and that kind of put me off. With this school, it was completely different. They were really on point. They were really back and forth. Any answers, any questions you had, they were really quick to answer. And the paperwork with my school was really quick because you've entered Dubai on your e-visa, on your working visa already. So I think that made the whole process really, really smooth.
Yeah.
My school did really well in that area. Yeah.
On your first week, were there any challenges in your first week starting?
So first week was induction. So all the new teachers, they come and they have induction. So new teachers tend to start week earlier because we will have inductions about the school procedures, the policies, the general rules in Dubai, the cultural expectations, what not to say, who to call if you get in trouble, because your principal is a sponsor. So if you get in trouble with police or you've got accident or whatever it might be, they are taking responsibility for you, and they are your sponsor. So the first thing you need to do, so they will tell you basically, you need to call the principal. They tell you the things not to say. You cannot gesture on the road when you are raging, because people drive madly here on the roads. You cannot gesture people because it's a criminal offense. So there's loads of things that they tell you, nuances and the things that they tell you. I'd say our school was really good in terms of there was induction. So you had to turn up to school. Every day was a different topic that they'll talk to you about. And then also what was really good, they've supported us with transport. So our school had a school bus, and they would pick us up from our apartment, our accommodation they've provided. They'll take us to school and take us back. And obviously along this, you have to do your biometrics, you have to do your medical. The school provided transport. They booked appointments so we could go as a group and have it sorted as soon as possible. So again, credit to HR, to organization, because I thought that was really faultless. That was really, really good.
So in that first week though, so I remember this because they pick you up, they drop you off, but they also helped you for cars, where to get your car from, because I think that's really important for anyone who's looking to move here at the moment, because you get that initial window of support.
Yeah.
But after that, you're kind of left and it's your responsibility to get to work. So talk through that.
I would say the first 2 weeks they would have provided transport, but also, you are right, I actually forgot about it. They've done a lot of practical bits. So for example, they put us in touch with the internet person to install internet, because everyone obviously wants internet. You want to be connected, you want to call your family. So that was the first thing. The internet was the first bit. What else have they done? Bank. Okay, so you had two people coming, two representatives from different banks, so you could make a choice which bank you want to go with to open your account. Everything is connected to you Emirates ID. However, the school has connection with certain banks or certain internet providers to say, okay, we can set it up on your passport, and as soon as you get your Emirates ID, you call these people or the representative to update it, because you cannot have things on your passport. It has to be all connected to the Emirates ID. So I thought that was really, really helpful, and that took a lot of stress away. And obviously they came to school, so you didn't have to go and see these people. The internet guy turned up at, I don't know if it was 9 o'clock in the evening,
He did.
he pretty much, guys, like, do you sleep? So the customer service in that perspective from the practical point of view, that was really, really good, I think. Yeah, that was really helpful.
And on the car thing, they did have a teacher's discount as well, which
Oh,
was good
yes.
because I
Yeah.
think when we were looking at the cost of the cars, you were a little taken aback at how much they cost.
Yeah, so so the car is another bit. Again, they put you in touch with a few companies that they have a good feedback from, like from other teachers. You are also put with a buddy. So normally the school buddy you up with with a teacher who's currently at school. So they normally do it, couple of months before, a couple of weeks before. So you are in touch with this person, you exchange the WhatsApp, and then they tell you if you've got any practical questions, which many people do. They'll tell you. But the car was another bit. The car is expensive gig. However, you need to have a car in Dubai. Like public transport is here, but without a car, you pretty much stuck. So some people decided to go for a rental. So my car, I've got Nissan Kicks. I'm paying insurance. It's all comprehensive insurance included with my car rental. I'm paying about just under 1,800 dirhams a month, and I've got the car for 10 months. Some people decided to car share for a few months and then go their own way. Some people decided to car rent for 3 months and then almost finance a car as well. So yeah, there's different ways to go about it. But I would say, yeah, school made it really, really easy for us, and probably the main bits were sorted from the get-go as well within the first 2 weeks, really.
Yeah.
I had my car, we arrived on the 13th of August, I had my car on the 25th or on the 24th.
Yeah, it was around about there.
But it was only because I took a lot of time.
Yeah, you did.
It was nothing to do. I basically refused to drive because I was driving at home like a manual car, right?
Yeah.
And then it can tell you. And I got an automatic car because there's no manual cars in Dubai. And honestly, I mean, 3 days I couldn't even work out that there's 2 pedals, not 3. And then what am I doing with this? So I had a little strop and a tantrum over this, and I refused to go on the road to practice for 3 days. And I haven't driven in UK for 10 years. So yeah, that was fault of my own. I was just basically, yeah.
Talk to me about because I've said it on a number of videos. Driving is mad here.
Yes.
Like people are impatient, they cut in.
Yes.
How did you find the adjustment? Because I'm going to be honest, I was really, really nervous for you leaving the house on your own one morning to go to work.
I was nervous for myself. Well, I've gone from literally refusing, and Pete can tell you, refusing to even drive around our estate because I couldn't work out in my head that there's 2 pedals rather than 3 in the car, to now like people are mad on the road. There's literally this much space. I think there's like 1 millimeter sometimes between the car that is in front of you. The roads are massive. There's 6 carriages or
6 lanes, yeah.
6 lanes, 7 lanes, and people are coming from left and right, and so you have to have eyes everywhere. But I'd say, like, I'm like Lewis Hamilton now. Like I basically know you indicate. I mean, people are bad for not indicating, but I always indicate. And there's no thinking. You indicate and then you leave time to go in. You basically, from the moment you indicate, you're pretty much moving to the next lane. That's the way it works. So you get used to it. You just have to be confident and really go. Yeah, you need to be aware about the drivers around you. I need to be really confident. So when you make the decision, I'm moving lanes, you just need to move the lanes.
Yeah.
You cannot really wait and slow down, because guess what? If you indicate, the car behind you, they're speeding.
Yeah.
They are not slowing down because you indicated and you told them, oh, I'm going to change lanes now. They don't care. They just drive.
Absolutely. Yeah. So going from the UK to Dubai in a school, how did you find the adjustment for the school culture and the work environment? Because it's very, very different in the UK to being here in Dubai. Some will say that the kids are better behaved in Dubai than they are in the UK. But what's been your take and your experience of the whole school culture and work environment?
So I think it's very individual to schools because, and again, I'm talking from my own experience from my friends. So like, I've got loads of friends teacher, and they say some of the schools have challenging behavior because of there is certain demographics, I don't want to talk about certain demographics of students, but you will find some challenging schools with
Hmm.
challenging behavior. And you're going to find some schools where, for example, like vaping, there's an issue in UK with vaping, students vaping. You have some schools here that the same happens. I've been very fortunate. My school is predominantly, I mean, it's very diverse school. It's got 60 or 70 nationalities, but predominantly it's Arabs and Emirati children, very respectful, very passionate when they talk to you and they try to, have a conversation with you, which I think, because I am, half Polish, half British, I understand that passion. So, I'm right in it with them as well. So I've been very fortunate. I think the children in our school, the students in our school, are very, very well behaved. Um, the hours are long, and they are long in every school.
Hmm.
So you are expected to be at school a little bit earlier. Our day starts at 7:15. I'm in school way before 7. So days are long, and I'm PE teacher, so we also have extracurricular activities after school. So 4:30, add on top of this your staff CPD, your weekly meetings. So the days are long. Fridays a half day in my school, which is really nice. Normally in my school we finish at 11:30, and majority of the school finish at midday. So you pretty much have 2.5 days off. And I would say the half day on a Friday makes
It's a
a
big
massive
difference.
difference
Yeah.
to your weekend. It really does, because you can pretty much rejuvenate on a Friday, have a good night's sleep, and then you're like, oh, I still have a weekend left.
Yeah.
So I think it does make a difference. But the hours are long, and you knackered when you come home. You're just
Yeah.
tired.
That's the one thing that I think I noticed from you when maybe in that first month or so when I was still here before going back and forth, that you were getting up very, very early, getting back late, and you were like, wow, this is mad.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, like I get up at 4:30 because I go to the gym before I get to work. So I've got a gym on my way to work. I paid upfront for a whole year, and I find myself like that discipline kind of helps me out. But
Hmm.
that means I'm in bed between 8 and 9 o'clock. And I remember a friend was laughing. Me and my friend at work, we had a discussion about it, because I'm not somebody who goes to bed between 8 and 9 o'clock. And you know yourself, that I have major problem with falling asleep. I'm an hour in bed and I'm still cannot fall asleep. And my usual sleeping pattern is between 11 and 12 o'clock.
Hmm.
That's when I normally fall asleep. Honestly, this place,
It
like,
changes.
you
You've had to
so
readjust it.
tired
Yeah.
and you just fall asleep. And if you don't fall asleep on a Monday or Tuesday, by Wednesday you are knackered, and you're definitely in bed between 8 and 9 o'clock. Many of my friends, those who are single, who have families, they're exactly the same.
Same
They're in
cycle.
exactly the same pattern. The teachers, they go to bed very early, between 8 and 9 o'clock, and because you wake up really early as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does the workload, teaching wise, differ to the UK here in Dubai?
So I think I would say it's similar workload. Let me think about how it compares. So, like I said, we need to be in school by 7:15. I'm in school just before 7. Anytime between 6:30 really and 6:50, I'm in school. You've got your lunch break, 45 minutes, and you've got your 15 minutes morning break. Sometimes you've got afternoon break, depending on how the school decides to run their day.
Hmm.
Our lessons are 55 minutes long, and we've got 8 periods, so 8 lessons in the day. I think the UAE law says that the teacher can be timetabled to do 26 or 27 lessons out of 36 in a day. So we've got
Hmm.
36 periods, so the teacher can do 26, I think, or 27 lessons. I've got additional roles, so my timetable is a little bit less, because I've got teaching and learning responsibility role, TLR role, so I've got a little bit less. But I would say you are tired. Like, I'm on my feet all day. I'm not a class teacher. I move equipment. There's no transition period from lesson to lesson. So I might be teaching foundation stage 1, which is 2-3-year-old students, and then I'm suddenly teaching 13-year-olds. So you're moving equipment from your equipment room from one lesson to the other. So I would say the lessons are long, the days are long, and you are tired. I
Hmm.
would say, mentally, probably, from also, being all day in chaos and dealing with very little people who might not understand yet, not only English, because English is the second language, but don't understand language yet, or what you say to them, or the expectations, because they are just small. They are 2-3 years old, to then having a conversation with 15-year-old. So I think, it makes the day varied, but it also is, it is a long day.
Yeah. You said that the student behavior varies depending on school and nationality. But would you say that there's a huge difference between parental expectations compared to the UK? So what the parents expect of you and of maybe of their kids in school here?
Well, I think parents have a lot to say in here, because most of the schools are private schools. So parents pay the money and there's certain expectations. In my school, yes, parents are very demanding. They'll turn up to reception, they demand to see certain people. So I think it can be challenging as well. Also in my school, like, lots of parents speak, English is their second language. There's a lot of passions coming out. Sometimes when you get slapped with the email is not the nicest email. It's not worded the way we would expect in UK. And you also have to take a step back and take a breath. So you are not typing in, I'm going to tell this person how I feel about them. How dare you speaking to me like this? We sometimes have to take a step back to be like, okay, our parents are passionate, and it is to do to the language barrier. And, just take a step back before you reply. I think what makes a difference when you see parents face to face, I think it makes the whole interaction better, and much smoother rather than emails. So when you see parents face to face, I think, they mellow a little bit. You can have a conversation. At the end of the day, they want what's best for the child, and they are in that moment only thinking from the child's perspective. But they are demanding, and they're demanding because they're paying money. So there are different expectations, for sure.
And you're in an international school. What does that actually look like? What's the difference like on a day-to-day basis? Because in the UK, it's mostly English, British kids, but you're dealing with different nationalities. What does that mean or look like on a day-to-day?
So I'm in international school, like I said, 60, I think 70 nationalities in my school. So, we've got school, we've got children who do not speak English. They need additional support. We've got very young children who also, don't understand the basic instructions yet. I think it makes it very varied, but personally, I don't feel much difference between the UK and my school. I think the main difference is how you word things sometimes. So, like, certain things, like, you cannot really say silly, because certain words are not like a no, they're forbidden. So if you say silly here, which is probably common phrase, so you're acting silly, stop the silly behavior. If you're trying to maybe,
it's taken differently.
It's taken differently because they think it's stupid, and you're calling me stupid. So I think there's little nuances in language that you have to be very aware about. But like I said, in our induction, our principals was very, clear about some of those things, or what not to say. And you also learn, like, we all make mistakes. Sometimes you do learn, and you need to have a conversation with somebody to be like, oh, you said these things, and like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it. So, you learn as you go along. But I think I enjoy it. I don't think there is much difference. Our school is a British school, it's a British curriculum school. So, for example, as a PE teacher, we do wear shorts. We do wear short sleeve top like you would wear in the UK. In parents' evening, you are more covered up. So you've got like a long dress, your arms are covered. But again, it is very dependent from the school. I know there are some schools that are much stricter. So when you go to Sharjah, which is the next emirate, all the teachers are covered up, even a PE teacher. So, in 40 degrees, you are wearing long joggers, you are wearing long sleeves, because it's not allowed. There are some schools in here, like School of Research Science, I think. Cannot remember exactly the name. And again, there is a division, so boys are separated from the girls. So, like, I'm in the British curriculum, school, so it's not much difference
to the UK.
To the UK,
yeah. Okay, it's good to know. You've already mentioned that obviously long hours. So getting up in the morning really, really early, getting back really late. I know that you're pretty much knackered most days.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for people who are watching this and who teachers who are watching this that perhaps want to come to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
the question will be, do teachers really have the time to enjoy Dubai
Oh
with
yes.
that kind of workload and that work time?
Yeah, look, everyone is individual, and like, it's all up to you. I think I come back, I'm tired because I've been up from 4:30 in the morning, right? And I've gone to the gym and I've lifted, tons of weights, right? So, and then I've been on my feet and I'm doing 15 to 20,000 steps a day, right? So, but then there's a staff CPD after school, and then you get home and it's 5 o'clock or 5:30, right? And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, oh my god, I need to be in bed between 8 and 9 o'clock. But I'm very disciplined. I like routine. I know there's going to be plenty of people that can exist on 5 hours of sleep. I cannot do it. Or they'll go to the gym, or they don't go to the gym, so they'll have more spare
Time,
time
yeah.
available. I just like routine because I function better. So I'd say in the evening, what I really enjoy, like we are in a nice community. We are in Town Square. I think it's lovely. um there are days when I come in and I do have energy, and I am in the mood to. How many times have I said to you, Pete, let's go to Nando's, so let's walk somewhere. So I think it's what you make it. I've made it kind of my routine that I'm going to come home, I'm going to have a shower, make some food, prep myself for the next day, and I know Monday to Thursday that is my kind of routine. And if we feel like it, we go to a restaurant, we can walk somewhere or jump in the car because it's all available, it's all open late. But weekend makes the whole difference. The fact that we can get up, and it's so weird because the first month I would like open the curtains and be like, oh, is it raining? Like it's like in UK, you almost feel like in UK and you catch yourself and like, oh my God, I don't have to do it anymore. And now it's like, we just get up and be like, oh, what do you fancy doing today? And there's so many things to do here, and the whole 2.5 day weekend is making a whole difference. Even going to the kite beach and dipping your feet in the
Yeah.
sand and going in a nice warm water, it just makes a difference. So I think, yeah, there's definitely plenty of work-life balance. It's what you make out of it. The weather does make a difference, and the opportunities are here are endless. Yeah.
Yeah. We've spoken a lot about cost of living on the channel.
Yeah.
It's a huge topic that obviously everyone is trying to
Yeah.
kind of like come to terms with. As a teacher moving here,
Yeah.
how does the cost of living, in your opinion, on a teacher's wage compare to back home?
So, in our case, or in my case, most of the teachers, well, I think every teacher, if you move in here, you get accommodation,
Hmm.
right? So that is a
Either
huge,
as staff or as an allowance.
yes, you
Yeah.
get either accommodation, allowance, or which is basically certain amount of money. Every school will have different accommodation allowance. Or you're going to get accommodation, staff accommodation, which is basically either a purposely built building by the school, or they've got apartments in different areas of Dubai. They've got a deal with the landlord. They might have 8 apartments in one building, like our school, and they will have several buildings because there's several staff obviously needing accommodation. So accommodation is a tick. You don't have to worry about it. All the bills within accommodation, that's your responsibility.
Hmm.
So your DIWA, which is your electricity and water, that's your monthly expenditure. Your internet monthly expenditure. Your gas, which is silly. I
Yeah.
mean, we've only topped it up once, 100 dirhams in August, and we haven't paid since.
Hmm.
And it's a top up by according to your meter reading. So yeah, and we've been cooking a lot, I
Hmm.
would say, in comparison with loads of people who actually dine and wine outside or have loads of takeaways. We actually, I would say, cook a lot.
Hmm.
So bills, yeah, comparable.
Aircon.
Yeah, air conditioned, guys. I mean, we've been advised keep it at 23.5 degrees all year around. So the bills are about 1,300 we are paying.
Hmm. Yep.
1,300 dirhams
About
a month,
1,300. Yeah.
which I would say it's nothing. That includes also a cleaner, because we've got a cleaner who
Hmm.
comes in every week, and we pay them about 90 dirhams. So I think depending what you get, a teacher can get anywhere, a British teacher, depending from your years of experience, anywhere from 10,000 dirhams and up a month. And I think if your accommodation is included, I think it's a reasonable wage, and you can yeah, you can have a good, comfortable life. I definitely certainly saved money every month. And again, that comes down to your discipline and
Yeah.
budgeting, because you can blow the money. There is so many places to go. Oh, there's another branch. And let's have, you know, a branch for 300, 400 dirhams, which is about £100,
Yeah.
80, £200. And you can go out every weekend and blow all your money. But you can also be disciplined. That's probably more my type. And we go and have treats every weekend. We go out, we go to restaurants, we go to nice places, we go to cheap places, we go to 2 for 1 entertainer places, you name it. We go to many,
Yeah.
many areas, but I'm still able to save the money because I've decided I'm gonna save the money, and I want to put away certain amount of money. So I think depends from your budgeting habit,
Yeah.
and that's probably you an expert who can talk about it. You know, yeah, it's life is
Yeah.
what you make,
Yeah.
and your finances is what you make.
Yeah. And I will stress this because this is something I've spoken about on the channel before. And she's not just saying this because I'm a financial expert and this is what I talk about on my main channel. It's because it's something we actually live by. I think if you're moving here, if your accommodation is paid for, you earn a good wage, you have the opportunity to save a lot of money. But if you're frivolous with your money and you want to go to
Yeah,
all the brunches, which is fine if you want to,
yeah.
you'll quickly find that the money can run out very, very quickly. And I think that's really, really important. People will say that the wages that they offer here to teachers in Dubai isn't competitive with the UK. What would you say to that?
I don't think it's true, because if you add your accommodation, you actually are getting paid more, because in UK you will have your mortgage to pay. So in
Hmm.
our case, we're renting our house out and we've got no accommodation bills in here in terms of the mortgage or a rental. We are paying bills, and the bills are significantly lower than what we
Hmm.
would have paid in UK.
And you're
Uh,
paying no tax either.
and we pay no tax, yes. So that's the first bit. Um, what did you say in terms of what was another one?
In terms of whether or not people feel it's equivalent to the
Okay.
UK pay.
So again, depending from the school, it is certainly more competitive than it used to be.
Hmm.
I think 7, 8 years ago, the wages were higher. I also think it depends from the school status. Um, so, you know, the outstanding schools that charge more fees, you tend to get paid more in those
Hmm.
schools. There are schools that charge less fees. Obviously, they've got less finances and budget coming in. They'll, you know, pay you less. It is very competitive. But I would say a teacher with 2 years experience, which is basically in UK an NQ a teacher who finished the teacher training, right? The 2 years of
Hmm.
teacher training, you know, anything from 10,000 and up, depending from the school. And it can vary. You can get 10,000, you can get 13,000 dirhams. I mean, it's some schools have their own scales, some schools don't have scales. They just
Hmm.
give you, and I've also been told by a HR person, sometimes it depends from your negotiating skill. How good are you at negotiating with HR? And now, just a little warning, it can blow up in your face and you can
Yeah.
negotiate and be like, no, thank you, moving to somebody else. Or you can accept it, see the move as a doorway in, or the school as a doorway in. I don't know if it's correct to say it, and then maybe move to another school when you're already in Dubai, because it tends to be easier when you are in Dubai to secure a job. And also, I would say, very dependent from the subject that you're leading. I would say if you're an English teacher, a science teacher, especially a science teacher, I think there's always so shortage, like in UK.
Hmm.
I think you probably have more negotiating power. And I think more opportunities. If you like PE, it has been really, really hard for me to secure a job. Pete knows.
Okay, but tell me a little bit about that because you, again, negotiations, and I think this is really important for anyone who's watching. You have to be very, very almost clear on what you want,
Yes.
and maybe to a fault sometimes. You really do annoy me, but you know
Thanks.
what you want sometimes,
Yes.
and that's what you go after, basically, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So going from your current school to your new school that you're going to is going to
Mm-hmm.
be an outstanding school, a
Mm-hmm.
step up from where you were.
Yeah.
Talk about that specifically and that process because it wasn't easy. It was stressful.
Yeah, so I've decided to move on to another school. Yeah, it was the way I secured an interview, because I basically bombarded people with a personal statement and a CV and it wasn't via test. So I think everyone who applies for jobs here, we know that test is a international
Mhm.
website, and normally schools advertise job via test and also via LinkedIn. But when they put it on LinkedIn, that means it already is on a test. So loads of jobs up, most of the jobs are posted on test website basically. And what happens, I don't know if they're using AI or whatever, but this can be filtered very easily, and you might be losing a little bit of hope, because like I've applied for 70 schools now, and I've crafted every single letter that I've written, and then I'm not getting seen, I'm not getting my opportunity. That is an issue in itself, because sometimes they are looking for specific things, so they're looking at your years of experience, or they're looking at the university that you finish, and then purely based on this they'll just knock you out. So mine, yeah, it wasn't easy. I was very fortunate because in September I volunteered to run a workshop for teachers here at the Teachers Conference. And throughout this workshop, I have met loads of people, and I was very lucky because there was loads of email addresses, personal email addresses to people in schools here.
Mhm.
So what I've done when I was looking for jobs, I've basically emailed those people to say, hi, we've met at the conference. I delivered humble workshop to you, received really good feedback. Here is my CV and a personal statement showcasing my experience and how I could make a difference to the school. Following that, within the 48 hours, I got 4 replies, 4 interview opportunities. Before that, I think I've applied for 15 jobs via test and haven't heard
Anything
from
back?
anything back. So it is stressful, but I think in my case, I don't know, like everyone is different. Look, you have to be happy. I think life is only one, and I've already decided I'm gonna go, and it's regardless of what happens. I knew it's the right decision for me to move elsewhere, and that's the reason why. It can be disheartening. It can be sometimes feeling like hopeless and nothing is gonna come through, but you just have to persevere. You just have to be resilient. You just have to know, like I said, what you want. Like for me, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was regardless the outcome. If I didn't secure it, that would probably mean I'm either going back to UK, or I'm waiting for late jobs, because people, believe it or not, like loads of people want to come here, but there's loads of late openings as well. We call this late openings. So deals fall through because people decide in the end, oh, I'm
Don't
actually,
want to make the
yeah,
move.
I
Yeah.
don't want to
Too
make
big
the
a move.
move.
Yeah.
Or people, believe it or not, resign really late, even though we have to give 3 months notice. It's contractually like one-time notice, like in the UK. People sometimes go because they've got change of circumstances, or they don't really care about the consequences, and they think, you know what, I'm just going to let my employer know 3 weeks before, and they just go. So, you just have to believe.
Yeah.
You just have to believe in your heart that good things are going to come. Your hard work is going to pay off, and you do have to be resilient throughout the process. And I think you have to think outside the box. It does make it easy when you know people,
Which
and
is the
when you,
power of
yeah,
network.
yeah,
Yeah.
the power of networking, I think, and putting yourself out there, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we've spoken about this quite a bit on the channel, guys. Like your network is very, very important here. And I think Ilona is a prime example of that. You've got to put yourself out there in terms of making connections, volunteering to do things makes a huge difference because you want your name in people's books
Mhm.
almost to a certain extent. And that's been one of the key things for you because, yeah, you had 4 interview offers in 48 hours.
Mhm.
You had 4 interviews and then 2 job offers. So you at least you had 2 schools to
Yeah.
kind of start the
Yeah,
negotiations
2
with.
outstanding schools as well. And that's another bit, like I specifically applied for outstanding school. I wanted to be in a school with super high standards, because it's just like matching what I want. And I would say, relying on network, I had met a really, really fantastic teacher at the Dubai conference, Ed Mosley. I don't know, Ed Mosley, if you're watching it, but it makes me choke, a little bit choke. When I was time, desperate times sometimes, because you lose a little bit of like that faith in yourself, is something going to come through? Have I made the right choice? Have I made the right decision? But this guy just answered, every call that I had and every WhatsApp voice note that I sent to him, and he just kept me going as well. He explained to me how it works in Dubai. He, for example, said to me, he said, Ilona, we had 400 job offers for our job that we advertised.
Applications.
Yeah, applications. 400 applications for 6-month payroll, 400 applications. And he said, we already knew from the start that we only want a female teacher. However, or a male teacher. However, we didn't specify this in the advert in case we don't get the right candidate. So he said, okay, the way it works is you might get 400 applications, right? But then you want a male teacher or a female teacher, and then straight away you've got, let's say, equal split, right? 200 male apply, 200 female apply. You already discredit the gender that you are not even interested in. And that's 50% of applications gone. Right? Then you are looking at specific things. And now the outstanding school, they are looking at filling the gap. They don't have time to train you. It doesn't matter how good you are. If they are looking for swimming and netball teacher, this is who they want. So they're going to be now seeding to your application to see what experience have you got, what qualification have you got, have you coached outside your PE role, right? Have you got level 2 qualifications in major sports? Might be rugby, might be football, might be basketball, very popular in Dubai. Netball, super popular in Dubai. Swimming, level 2. Have you got qualification in this? Have you got experience? Have you done anything outside school? And then they will be seeding through, right? So out of the 200, they're like, 100 of them, they don't even have what we are looking for. Now they're left with 100. And now they're looking for really specific, nitty-gritty people that they have, so they can fill the gaps in the department. And that's what I found out the outstanding schools do. Doesn't matter how good you are. It's okay, this person is leaving and I need to fill that specific gap, because that's just the easiest way for us to do it, right? We don't have to change the timetable around the new person because they don't have this skill or this skill. We are looking to fill the gap with the specific person that is leaving. So I think that's another thing, bear in mind, when you lose hope. I've certainly been in the situation, and relying on people who are here, who have been longer than you, who are willing to offer advice, who are keeping you going there as well, who believe in you, who've seen what you can do. Like at the conference, the guy showed me and he was saying, Ilona, like, you received such a good feedback. Your passion, your hard work is going to pay off. People are going to see it. We need good teachers. So yeah, he kept me going for sure.
Yeah. On the criteria that you explained there, then, how important is it that you then pay attention to the job description and the job ad? Because I know that you do this and you spend a lot of time on it. I would say maybe too much time, but this works for you and has worked for you all along. Actually personalizing your statement that you actually send in with your CV and your application. Because I think a lot of people don't actually do that
That's
in
true.
their application process.
So again, speaking to to my friend, he said the same. You'd be surprised at how many rubbish applications we get. Which was maybe, I don't know if I'm naive, but it was really surprising to me, because every single letter, I kid you not, and you know this already, I have spent endless hours. I've got a folder for every school that I've ever applied in Dubai. And I'm talking about looking at the website, looking at their statement, vision, mission, looking at whether they offer GCSE, A-level, looking at their extracurricular activities, what they offer, and really crafting it and tailoring it to the school that I apply for. So I spend loads of time because I believe it pays off. And I know of people who, would send a super generic letter, sometimes would have left their old school name or the previous school name out, and it's just going to discredit you. Like, nobody's going to even look at this if you got the name wrong. If you didn't take time with spelling, if your letter is too long, if the advert says normally the acceptable personal statement is 2 A4 pages. If you go and over this, people don't even read it, right? Some adverts, they ask for 1 A4 page, put 1 A4 page. The same for CV. Nobody reads a CV that is longer than 2 A4 pages, right? So you need to find a way to put the relevant information in that CV. I've got 22 years of working experience, and then and half of this is outside teaching.
So is it going to be relevant to the application?
Exactly. So you need to ask, is it relevant? If it's not relevant, don't put it on, because you're going to cram the CV, and keep it simple and basic. I mean, I've seen some CVs, the font is wrong, you cannot read it, There's too much color going on, the formatting is wrong. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, write the most important things, write your educational experience, write your qualification that you've got, anything that's basically relevant to the job. And very popular here, and I think it's common, which is not common in UK, is your photo.
Okay.
Your photo needs to be on a CV. Schools like photo, they request for the photo. Don't ask me why, they just want it. That's not something that you would probably put on your
CV in the
CV in
UK,
UK.
yeah.
Photo is not something that you would
Yeah.
put.
So for people who are teachers right now, looking to come here
Mhm.
to be a teacher,
Mhm.
given this first year,
Mhm.
and obviously you've gone to a school, you're now going on to an outstanding school, one of the better schools in Dubai.
Mhm.
What would be the advice for anyone who's looking at Dubai as a teacher to start anew like you were?
I think, look, this was a right move for us. I'm still very excited. I'm still loving my life in Dubai. I'm looking forward to the future, looking forward to my new move to a new school. And at the end of the day, it's like, to me, you have to do what's right for you in your heart. Like, I cannot, some people don't want to leave school because, it's what I know. I've got a good friends, a friendship circle here. It's hard. I'm not happy, but I'm okay. Like, everyone is different. I personally have no problem going from school to school or from job to job. Whether it looks good on my CV or not, that's another, matter. That's another question to ask. I always have led, or, sometimes with my heart too much. But like, I'm doing what I feel is best for me in a given moment. Whether it's the right move or not, who knows? Because you can only look at those things retrospectively, right? You can look like, once you've made the move, have I made the right move? I know this is the right time, or this is the right move for me right now. So I would say, yeah, don't lose hope if you're still applying. The recruitment process is normally opens in January, February time, and then there is another round of recruitment that happens October time for January start. So you've got January, February recruitment time for August start, and then September, October,
For January.
November for January start.
Yeah.
But again, bear in mind, deals fall through, people withdraw the applications, and there are very late openings as well. So just look on the test website, look on LinkedIn. Do you have any friends here who can help you out with the move as well? It's always helpful, to exploit more than one avenue.
I know the answer to this next question,
Go on.
but people watching probably won't. And I'd love to get your take on this just for their benefit. Do you see yourself staying in Dubai long term? What's the general hope and the plan long term?
Well, so far, I don't see myself going back. I just love the weather too much. And I know people say, oh, it's too hot. And, August is too hot. And I kid you not, last year in August, I've made the move, Pete made the move. There was, I think, 7 other teachers who ended up in this building in Town Square. And we were all by the pool. And it was 45 or 50 degrees. We were all by the pool, at midday.
Yeah.
So you adjust to it. I think Dubai is very forward thinking. I think every year they are coming up with new kind of ideas how to attract people to come to Dubai. There's different sort of visas that you can exploit now, working visas that kind of gets people to come here and to explore, life, and whether it's whether they want to stay. I don't know how the retirement looks like, because I think from what I heard, and again, don't quote me on it because I don't know, there's not much going on for the people who retired are a little bit older, but I don't know, because I'm just repeating, or it's a hearsay. I'm not necessarily sure, and I think Dubai is very forward thinking. So probably in 10 years' time, they're gonna
very
have different
different.
sort of visa going on, or different sort of opportunities
Yeah.
for older people who might be in their late 50s or 60s. So right now, I'm very happy where I am, and I'm quite excited for the next few years. But we all grow, we all evolve. Who knows what's going to happen in 5 years' time? We might change our mind, go elsewhere. I don't really know. Right now, this is the right move. I'm in the right place at the right time with the right person.
Cool. All right. So, last question for you. And again, is there any last words that you would have for someone watching this, teacher thinking about Dubai? Any last words for them?
I'd say, guys, like, make a move. I don't leave with regrets. make a move, right? You can always go back to UK or wherever you come from. Like, you can just always go back and say, it hasn't worked out. It isn't quite what I wanted it to be. I know of few people who came to Dubai, never been to Dubai, and then they've gone back. It wasn't the right move for them. I know people who have never been to Dubai, made a move, and then they love it. I know people like us who've been coming to Dubai for 10 years. We made a move and we so far love it. So I think, yeah, just take a, what do you say? Take a
leap.
Yeah, take a
Take a
leap
leap.
of faith, go in, make sure really important that one of you have a job. If you're moving as a couple, I think it's always a peace of mind if one of you have a job.
100%.
I think it's really stressful if your dream becomes a nightmare because two of you are coming or one of you is going, you've got no savings with you, and you think, I'm going to come in here and it's going to be easy because I'm here, because my friend told me that it's so easy when I'm in Dubai to find a job. It's not, guys. It's not. Like, if you're coming without savings and if you're just dreaming big, I mean, yeah, it's no longer a place when you could come like 10, 15 years ago and jobs were being dished out like this. There's loads of competition here. We know of people who are very knowledgeable, very qualified, and they have no job, or they've been laid off, they've been made redundant. So it can be quite stressful. So make sure you've got a job security if you're coming as a single person, or if it's the two of you, one of you has a job and the other one can figure things out as they go along, because you don't have to worry about roof over your head, about money coming in and how you're going to feed yourself, because one of you has security. I think, yeah, you come with some kind of security. So I'd say take a leap of faith, you know, enjoy it, make the best out of it. And if it's not for you, go back and then, yeah, it's always going to be there.
Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. So we might do more of these. So Ilona, there are lots of things that we talk about, and the things that I cover from my point of view, but she has a load of ideas. So we might do another one of these and call it sofa chats or something.
Yeah.
Not too sure just yet. But if you have enjoyed this, you found it useful, or you know someone who's a teacher looking to move to Dubai, please share this. If you're not in the Telegram group already, please make sure you join the Telegram group. It is free. Actually, there is a question from the Telegram group which came in this morning, which I promised I was going to ask you. So let me just find it. It was from Kuj. He was asking, so his partner, where is he? His partner was asking whether there were any specific groups she could join. So, okay, here it is. My wife is a high-level teaching assistant. Does anyone know of any network she can join in Dubai?
Right. So is it HLA or HTA?
HLTA.
Yeah, HLTA. Yes. So I don't know of specific HLTA groups. I know we've got a lot of HLTA teaching assistants in our school, but the main groups is the Facebook, Dubai teachers. I mean, there's so many of the Facebook group that you could join in. Let me have a look there. Some of the
I'll pop them down in the description. I'll link all of the groups that she mentions in the
Dubai
description down here.
Teachers Network. That's the one. Dubai Teachers Network. That's what I'm part of. Dubai Teachers, United Academic Educators. So yeah, there's so many that you can join in and you can ask questions. But I don't know of a specific
thing for HTLAs.
Yeah. I don't know for the specific one.
HLTAs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll link all of the Facebook groups for teachers that she's mentioned in the description down below. But again, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that if you've not already subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video next week. Catch you later. Cheers.